Hello, everybody. We are back for round two of our Premodern Showdown series, week three. I'm Michael Hoyp. I'm joined in the booth with Aaron Dix. How's it going, Aaron?
Pretty good.
You're good?
Finally beat Tom.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
He has crushed me every time we played.
All right. Well, it's a good one to win. And so, yeah. But
Yeah. But now we get to see if he can take out Mano.
yeah, he's gonna look for a little bit of redemption. He's gonna try and take down Mano. And let's take a look at what decks that they have available for them. So moving over to the ban screen, Tom's Sly list is again banned, so he won't be bringing that. He's got the choice of Mono Blue Stifle Knot and Blue White Landstill, while Mano has his Esper Stifle Knot has been banned, so he has the choice of Sly and Black Red Muse. So I don't know if you kind of looked at these permutations, but if you're in either of the player seats, like what are your thought process of picking a deck here?
If I'm Mano here, I think I do Black Red Muse to try to avoid getting stomped by a Dreadnought.
Okay.
And if I'm Tom, I mean, both of these decks have quite a bit of aggro to them. I think that I don't know. Tom's in a tough position
Yeah, it seems
depending
like
on
because I think if Tom gets the Dreadnought against Sly matchups, he's pretty happy. But
right.
I think the Muse deck could be problematic with like discard spells and some of the removal suite that it has.
Right.
On the other hand, I mean, I think the matchup between Landstill and Sly is pretty close. Like it's close
Yeah.
enough to a coin
Yeah.
flip,
Yeah.
I think. And then I kind of do like the Landstill against the Black Red Muse. I just think like a card like Factor Fiction is just so powerful against what the
Right.
Black Red deck is trying to do. All right, let's see what they are playing. So Tom has elected. He's going with Blue White Landstill again. So
Okay.
he's gonna run it back. So if you're not familiar with this deck, it's just the classic blue white archetype counter spells and white removal spells with Source of Plowshares and Wrath of God.
Yeah.
Humility is a powerful tool in this format that really can cause headaches for some of the decks, whether
Yeah.
it disrupts a combo or just slows down the attack from creatures. But yeah, there's not too much to say about blue white. If you're familiar with the format, you've seen this deck. Um,
I will say that Tom's list is tuned really, really tightly. He's worked a lot on getting the ideal blue-white landstill list, and I think this is the evolution of that list. You know, for the past few years.
mhm. All right, and so for Mano, he is bringing his Black Red Muse deck. So
Okay.
this is kind of his baby. It's something that like he did. So it's a little bit of a lot of disruption. I mean, there's Hypnotic Specters, Cabal Interrogators, Ravenous Rats, and discard
Mm-hmm.
spells. And then kind of how it puts the pressure on is the Lavaborn Muse, which is like the rack on a 3/3 body. So really looking to kind of nickel and dime. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm like you you're playing a pretty fair game, but
Yeah.
also just trying to stop what your opponent's doing while chipping in damage. I think is kind of the game
Yeah.
plan. So
You're sort of a tempo plus disruption.
mhm.
Uh, I mean, heavy disruption in this case, but he's still wanting to be the aggressor here. And
Which deck would you rather be piloting in this matchup?
I think in this one, with the ability to recover and the removal that Tom is packing, I think he's favored, but I don't think it's by much.
Yeah, I think I would want to be in the blue white deck.
Yeah.
I like just the power and consistency of it. A card like Factor Fiction, I think, is going to be very important for Tom winning
Well,
games. So,
yeah, and a removal spell followed by a standstill goes a long way as well.
all right, we're going to jump down to the match. If you want to let the players know that they can begin,
Can do.
we will kick things off. We have Mano on the right, and then Tom on the left again. And I didn't see who won the die roll.
I didn't either, but we are still resolving some mulligans here.
Oh,
It
okay.
looks like Mano has mulliganed. Looks like Tom is keeping his opening 7.
Okay. So probably the most powerful, or like the turn one, if you like Dark Ritual, and because does Mano have Dark Ritual? I think he has like one copy of Dark Ritual. The numbers are, I think, are really weird, but like if he's able to get a Hypnotic Spectre in play, then like that would probably be the biggest threat, because all the other creatures don't represent like a ton of pressure or disruption from Tom's perspective.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
Hypnotic Spectre is something that he would need to deal with pretty much right away.
Mano loves his Miser copies, so he does have the one Dark Ritual.
All right.
I love this list. It's 1 Dark Ritual, 1 Stupor, 1 Wreck, 1 Furnace, 1 Engineered Plague. Yeah, it's awesome.
I think the Phyrexian Furnace one of, I can understand that, 'cause I think that was the convincing of trying to metagame against Mike Flores and the
Yep.
solitaire confinement lock. So, all right, so Tom kicks things off just with a coastal tower, and then Mano leads with a fetch land
Man,
into Cabal Therapy.
Cabal Therapy for swords.
Let's say
And
it's
grabs
easier to
one.
Cabal Therapy when you know exactly what
Yeah.
your opponent's playing. You pulled one out of Robin's book of where he just blind Cabal Therapies.
Yeah, it didn't work out for me as well as it usually does for Robin, though.
Yeah.
The master of the Cabal Therapy.
All right, so swords is down. Tom's rest of the hand is Enlightened Tutor, Impulse, Prohibit, and a Plains, and then 1 unknown card.
Still a pretty sweet hand getting to hold up those 2 lands already and have the tutor ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Tutor ready to go, Impulse ready to go.
I love Coastal Tower in this deck. Like,
yeah,
just the mana is, I think, good in the Lancel deck, but just having the ability to that pain-free source of color fixing is very good.
Another therapy out of Mano.
What are you naming here? Assuming it resolves.
Assuming it resolves, I think you name Tutor.
What card do you think Tom is looking to? Because the one thing about the Tutor is, because so much of Mano's game plan is kind of like hand disruption, that it's putting Tom down a card already, like to Enlighten Tutor. But
that's fair.
I mean, yeah, I can see it. I mean, I can see naming any of the cards. So
yeah,
Enlighten Tutor looks like, yep, all right. And then, yep, Tom will cast the Impulse at end of turn.
I mean, Tom's deck is just full of targets for that thing. It's such a nasty card.
Yeah, I just can't think of like one card like in the spot that he really wants a ton. Like, is Humility the heavy hitter that he would get? I don't.
Well, certainly not in this position with the factory on the table.
Okay, yeah.
But maybe it's Powder Keg, maybe it's Seal of Cleansing. The versatility of that card in this deck is just fantastic.
All right, so Tom finishes his Impulse, and now he
goes to his turn, and it's up to 3 lands.
Did he not draw a card? Shouldn't he have 3 unknowns? Oh no, the Cabal Therapy resolved. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So, does he have Standstill in hand and was thinking of dropping it there?
Other things that you would think about would be, yeah, I don't know.
Get in for 3.
All right, so activation of a factory and then pumping it. Yep, we'll put Tom down to 17. So I guess with Mano not having like any creatures, at least he's able to chip away a little bit with the Mishra's factories. Yep. But yeah, Tom getting to this is kind of the point where if you're able to cast like a Factor Fiction, then a lot of the work that Mano's done with the Cabal Therapies is kind of undone.
Yep. So we've got a fetch for a mountain. He's got his colors.
Is it Lavaborn Muse?
I mean, seems good. Seems good until you know those other 3 cards.
Yeah. I mean, we could see a kick prohibit then, but
Right. Just full tilt aggro.
yep, we do see
Yuki
Fact or
back.
Fiction, so that is pretty much exactly what
Ooh.
Tom wants.
It's a tough split for Mano here.
So the cards we see are Flooded Strand, Island, Humility, Swords of Plowshares, and Atticar Wastes.
I mean, Swords is good now, Humility is good later.
Yeah, given the board state with the 2 factories, I think Humility has less desirable.
Right. I think he really needs the sword and soon to slow this clock. So
yeah, I'm guessing. I'm guessing Swords is like the key card is whether you split it like 2 or
right.
even like would you ever 4-1 this? I don't know.
I don't think you 4-1 this.
Okay.
Not unless you knew the other cards in his hand weren't special. Okay,
All
so
right.
you did 4-1.
We do a 4-1, but then
Yeah.
looks like Tom is taking the big pile, so
Yeah, I'll take that.
I guess Tom is not very afraid of just the beatdown from the factories. Or maybe he really values the humility. I don't know.
I mean, given how many creatures in Mano's deck have enter the battlefield effects,
Mm-hmm. Or just like abilities like shutting down like the Cabal Interrogator, the Hypnotic Spectre.
Yep. So there's the seal.
Okay.
So that's going to take care of one of those factories. There's the Keg.
All right.
A
Well, that
Keg
one
will take care of both of them. So there we go. That's the ticket.
that makes a lot more sense.
Now that pile looks awful from Mano.
Yeah.
That 4-1 split feels bad.
I mean, but that's just the hard thing about playing against Fact or Fiction is you don't know their hand.
Absolutely.
So.
This was my thought on humility is good later, swords is good now. Humility is going to be good after we clear those okay, so Ravenous Rats. Pick your card, Tom.
I think you're pitching a Flooded Strand, or maybe the Atticar Waste, but
yeah, the Wastes probably. Huh?
And I think Tom's gonna be able to untap and play Humility and have Prohibit. So
feels good. Look at Mano's deck list now.
do you have a favorite Ravenous Rats art?
I actually like the one that Mano's playing.
Okay.
I think it's a good one.
My favorite, I like the Invasion one a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I've had some people that like the Portal one. That's like
I don't even know what the Portal one looks like.
I don't know if I can bring it up, but it's yeah.
Yeah, the Invasion one was like more cartoony looking, right? Like
yeah, that a lot of the style I like is like those hard edges that like very defined art and yeah.
Yeah, I know you and I agree on mountains, but we disagree on Ravenous Rats. We just found out.
All right, well, I think that we can deal with that. I think that's okay. We can still be friends.
Yep. Okay, so Cabal Therapy flashing back the Cabal Therapy, sacking the Ravenous Rats.
Oh yeah, I guess
humility.
you
naming Prohibit.
Interesting that I guess I'm surprised that I guess the humility doesn't matter then. But
Oh, okay.
I just would have
So
thought that Tom would have wanted to try and counter
so
that
another rat.
to protect his humility. But then Mano didn't even name humility, so
Right. I mean, he's still got. There's another. Oh no, he flashback. Flashback both Cabal therapies.
uh
Not quite sure.
yeah, both look. Oh no,
One's a rat, and I don't think it
did something get
supports humility.
exiled from swords? Or was that no, that was yeah, there
No, that
was
got discarded. I think he accidentally turned the rat sideways.
oh, so Mano has well, no, the because the Urza's Destiny one got exiled there, or got flashbacked. Or,
Yeah,
okay,
I think he put it with the Cabal therapy after the sack.
okay, yeah, you're
And
right.
it's just
I was seeing two swords in the graveyard, but yeah, one got discarded to Cabal Therapy the first time, and the second one was from the Fact or Fiction
right.
pile. Okay,
So he puts a counter on the keg.
well, he's got another seal
He
too,
just
so
just says I'll get rid of your factories with seal of cleansings.
I mean the seal is actually like pretty good against a lot of. Well, I would say he's only got one copy of the rack. I it, it answers Phyrexian Arena, which is kind of like um the card that I feel like that Mano
Yeah,
wants to draw to get him out of the situation. It's a way for him to
exactly.
go to outcard the blue white deck. All right, little rat getting in there. Are we gonna see a powder keg blow up just a ravenous rats?
No way. That's that's not Tom's style.
Well, yeah.
Is he worried about his 12 turn clock? Okay, so that's a little bit more concerning.
Grim Lavamancer, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Is that Fact or Fiction a response, or has that Grim Lavamancer resolved? I couldn't tell from there.
I'm not sure.
We see a counterspell, a Fairy Conclave, an Impulse, a Decree of Justice, and a Dust Bowl. I mean, Dust Bowl's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know if that's. Oh, does Mano also have a Dust Bowl? What is that top land that he
Yeah,
has?
that's a dust bowl.
Okay, well then. But uh,
It's hard to know what you take here depending on when this factor fiction is being cast.
okay. I mean, even just putting a bunch of decree tokens seems pretty good. Like you're decreeing for 4 tokens, drawing a card. Like at least 4, could be 5. Like I think decree is like the best card in this pile, but maybe all right, and another 4-1 split. So
Yep.
what pile do
Mano
you think you're taking? Are you
acknowledging that decree is the best
I mean, this is
here.
tempting. I don't know. 4 cards is a lot,
Again,
and like those aren't
I
bad. Those are not bad 4 cards. So
no, depending on when this is being cast. If I can counter that Lavamancer, I'm taking that pile.
okay, oh, we're still splitting. Okay.
Oh. We're still splitting. Okay.
Oh,
Now I'm definitely taking the decree and counterspell.
yeah, that seems. Yeah,
Like as soon as he tells me, yeah, snap grab as soon as he says that's final.
all
So
right.
floats a blue as the Dust Bowl takes out his land there, Coastal Tower.
I'm just trying to figure out where the if I think this Grim Lavamancer has resolved.
I
Okay.
think it, yeah, I think it was end of turn.
Okay.
So it was never about getting rid of the Lavamancer.
Tom is taking up to 3. Is he
What
just
is he
so?
going for?
It's a card. It answers Hypnotic Spectre. It's got to be like Lavamore
Arena.
Muse though, but I mean like no, because it doesn't hit enchantments. It's only artifacts and creatures.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
And if you're
That's right.
really worried about Hypnotic Spectre, like Hypnotic would come into play, and then you could tick it up and use it. So
Yep.
it's got to be Lavaborn Muse then, right?
Right. So
We see
here's
it.
the Miser Stupor. Get a bunch of dudes in response.
All right. We've got a subscription from Flint. Flint's been subscribed for 26 months. So thank you, Flint. So there's a number of people that have been very consistent about their subscription. So thank you guys for the continued support.
I will say I was just in Germany doing European Championships, and the group in Europe was really, really excited about this PSS.
Okay.
Everyone was asking me about it. You know, if you're here, how are you going to play? Was a question I got asked about 20 times.
That's cool.
So it was super cool to get the excitement of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I've heard positive things, but I guess a lot of times, obviously, for anyone watching live, it's difficult if you're in Europe. So it's good to
Yeah,
hear the feedback that everyone's enjoying it overseas. So
yeah, and I did not get to watch the last episode live,
okay.
and the next day I had it spoiled for me immediately. Can you believe that? You know,
Yeah, that's gotta be
like,
tough to try and
oh,
because people just kind of talk about it on our social media platforms. So
yeah. There's a lot of people that were really excited. I heard about it as soon as I woke up the next day.
all right, so this Lavamancer is in play, and how much food does it have? I mean,
I
the
mean,
graveyard
there's
looks a little bit
plenty.
stock for Mano. So
He's got some work to do though. Tom is not that low yet.
yeah, we do see the powder coat go immediately to 4, and I guess that does make sense because the Lavaborn Muse would trigger um it just to prevent him taking extra damage if a Lavaborn Muse did come down.
Or gonna terminate a token.
It doesn't have very many other targets, so it also puts a card in the
Yeah,
graveyard, which might be relevant too.
yeah. Puts a card in the graveyard. Lavamancer activates. Just get rid of everything. Chewing through those tokens. So Lavamancer goes to the face. Uh, Seems real good here. Cabal Therapy. What do you name here?
Um, I'm trying to think what card it would be. I don't, I don't even know. I mean, if I'm Mano, I don't think I'm casting this Cabal Therapy until like I'm trying to resolve a different spell. But I don't know what he's going to try and force through with colorless red. That's very relevant. Unless he has bolts. I might just name like counterspell, but I don't know. What do you think you would name?
Yeah, I think you name the counter magic.
Yeah.
Your counter magic of choice based on what's in his graveyard right now.
I guess also the thing might be is if Mano's choked on black mana, that he's got to play it now, even though it's like the timing of that Cabal Therapy is not very good. But
I mean,
he just to continue casting spells is maybe the
he might
idea.
just need one card in his graveyard.
Yeah, that's true.
Take those two and be happy about it.
Is this an attack? Oh no, this is activation.
No, just end of turn, Lavamancer for 2.
Yeah, but now there's. It still looks like there's. I can't see exactly how many cards are in
Okay,
Mano's
so
graveyard,
that,
but
I mean, the factory is going to be a really quick seal target
yeah. So I don't
if
think
it
that'll
ever
get
activates.
activated. Yeah. Though I mean, it might just get activated just so it goes to the graveyard. We do see.
Bolt. Okay,
Okay, yeah. Bolt
for the
takes it
game.
down, and yeah, Tom kind of felt like things went his way. I mean, it didn't seem like he was under a ton of pressure, but and then he resolved like multiple factor fictions. The big difference, yeah, was that Grim Lavamancer uh, that with some different timing, I think Tom could have had the option of casting it when the Lavamancer was on the stack, and that
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that because we see it. I mean, there's so many answers in that deck. Uh, I get maybe you just think you're gonna get something to answer it.
yeah. All right, well, yeah, that was an impressive win from the Black Red
Yeah,
Muse deck in Mano's hands. So let's jump over to the sideboards. Look and maybe figure out how these players are going to sideboard because I'm thinking things are going to get better. Well, probably for both decks, but it seems like there's some heavier hitters out of the sideboard for the blue-white land still. Cards
yeah.
like, I mean, Hydroblast I'm looking at, but like, are the red cards the ones you care about? They're the ones that like might end the game, but I don't know.
Right.
Circular Protection Red seems very good. Just
Yep.
a nice way to feel safe.
Copperhead is great, especially on a deck that isn't going to overload you with a bunch of different
Mhm.
activations. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I don't. Would you bring in like a card like Curse Totem? It shuts down Grib Lavamancer and Cabal Interrogator, but like other than that, doesn't seem a ton.
it's a it's a great tutor target as well.
I mean, you might bring in a card like Warmth too. I could see like at least bringing in one and like just
Absolutely.
maybe because Mano's just kind of chipping away that just gaining 4 life might be enough to get him some extra turns to really close the door. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure how Tom like which cards he's going to prioritize because I think there's a lot of different reasonable takes that you can look at. All right,
Well,
go
it
ahead.
here's a really great example of a deck with really varied threats. Mano's deck has a lot of really varied threats where not there's not one sideboard answer that makes sense for everything.
All right, I'm going to pull up Mano's sideboard. So he's got 2 Tormod's Crypts, 2 I think those Cremates, 3 Dystopia. I like the Pyroblast. There's Engineered Plagues, a Red Blast,
Yeah,
Overload,
one
and
pyro, one
Terminate.
red.
So,
I think you bring out the terminates
yep, I think that makes
that
sense.
you have main deck, and you just go pyroblast and red blast.
Do you think
Do you do
the
dystopia?
uh is Dystopia better than a Terminate? I think it is.
Yeah, it's definitely
It,
better than a terminate here.
and is there anything else that's low impact? I mean, Phyrexian Furnace seems actually fine. I don't know. But I guess it's just cycles. Maybe it's just
I think you get rid of the furnace.
okay. All right.
I mean,
Well,
do you think the rack is ever going to activate here?
yeah. I mean,
I shouldn't say activate. Or do you ever think it's
like
going to be
trigger.
relevant? Yeah,
Yeah. Um. I, I mean, a lot of that game actually. I think Tom's hand was pretty low, right?
sure.
You think he
Yeah,
had? I mean, there's so much discard in Mano's deck that like there's Duresses, Cabal Therapies, Hypnotic Specters, Ravenous Rats. Like there's a lot of
yeah,
cards that kind
that's
of whittle
fair.
away. I mean, so and the card that you're bringing in like doesn't seem
Doesn't seem better.
yeah like you're not nothing's dynamically changing. You're not
I was just trying to figure out how you fit in 3 dystopias.
okay. Yeah, I mean,
terminates
like
out 3
if that's
dystopias
a
in.
plan, like if your plan is just to bring in all the dystopias, then which I mean, I think dystopia is fine in this matchup. It's not the thing I'm like super excited about because like what is the dream scenario that you get humility and then another card? I guess I don't. Um, but yeah, it clears the way, it gets rid of a seal cleansing so that you can resolve a Phyrexian arena. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, all right, I'll
Yeah,
jump down back down the
this is one
match.
where I think he's just got 5 good options to put in and 3 good options to take out.
Do you think? I mean, I think I like the sideboarding for Tom. Like I feel like his deck
Yeah.
improves more than what
Yeah,
Manos
his
does.
his deck improves more.
But I feel like a lot of the cards that Mano has just line up fine. Like the discard plus pressure is a decent game plan against land still. I mean, like it can kind of be thwarted just by like a Mishra's Factory that gets in the way, or like a card like Factor Fiction that kind of refills. But if things line up, you can just nickel and dime them, and I mean that's what I think Mano's going to try and do. Starting off with a
Yeah,
duress, we see an
where's
impulse,
that
an island,
swords?
an Adakar waste, swords, and seal cleansing, and Mishra's Factory. So unless you have, I mean, I can see maybe taking the seal if you have a card like Phyrexian Arena in your hand, but otherwise, I mean, I also can see like a lot of, if you don't have a Hypnotic Spectre, then like a lot of the creatures that Mano plays, you're gonna get the value off of like Ravenous Rats anyways. I can see taking impulse, which okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Tom just draws a card and plays an island and then chips a turn. So he's not running out the Seal of Cleansing, which is either he's bluffing counter magic or he's
Jeez.
um, just waiting to use the seal. Because I mean, I guess it would open it up for a card like Dystopia, but I think it's probably more vulnerable in your hand than in play. So if you don't have counterspell or any like counter magic, mana leak, prohibit or something, would you tap out to play the seal? Do you think? I think I would. The prohibit, okay, was the card
Yeah,
drawn.
you
So
have the prohibit.
so looks like Tom, yes, did have a counter, chose not to counter the Cabal Therapy, and Swords of Plowshares was taken. Okay. All right, Mishra's Factory has joined Tom's battlefield, so
Tom clearly the beatdown. Oh no, Mano's got his own.
yeah, I'm trying to think what I think if Mano's all right. This is a
Oh,
Hypnotic Spectre, and so the Prohibit can't
yeah.
answer this.
Prohibit's useless there.
This is a spot where Prohibit didn't look so great. I know I've talked about it a lot of times that I feel like it's does what you need to a lot of the time, but here it was clunky, only having 3 mana up. And Hypnotic Spectre is probably the worst card in this situation. So Factor Fiction could ease
Wow.
Parallax Tide, Plains, Seal Cleansing, Swords to Plowshares,
Oh
and Decree.
man, if it grabs this swords.
Well, the thing is, like, if you 4-1 this, I think I might just take like the 4 cards though. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He's gonna take the big pile. You know, let's mix up this hippie. Random discard is so much better.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of awkward because there is that Parallax Tide and Seal Cleansing combo. It's just there. Like, you can't deny it because the seal's already in Tom's hand.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, it's not guaranteed. I guess there's a Hypnotic Spectre attacking that, like, so it's kind of difficult for Tom in that aspect too. Like, if you can't really plan out many turns ahead because you don't know what you're going to discard.
This one, this one's tough to split. This is probably one of the more difficult splits I've seen for this, this state of the game.
Yeah. Here, what would I be interested in taking if this were the pile? Oh, we're still rearranging piles. Okay. So right now we're looking at the seal,
I think I'm
swords,
taking the
and
big
plain.
stack here. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm taking the big stack. I mean, it feels good to dodge the tide there, but giving him 3 cards, one of which is a swords.
Mm-hmm. And the seal cleansing is gone.
Yeah. So now that hippie's gonna catch a swords.
Yeah, that was. Oh well. Looks like a duress is being played
Oh, come
post
on.
combat. So I like the sequencing for Mano. I mean, I got the attack first and then duress. So
Ooh,
I think
reveals the
the
Blue Blast.
hydroblast. Yep. I think I take swords and like hope that
Yeah,
your Hypnotic Spectre is going to get a lot of work done. So
absolutely. And Ravenous Rats now? Yep.
all
There it
right.
is. Whew. It's a lot of discard real fast. I need discards.
Mano is doing some work. Like he's fought through Factor Fictions, and I
Okay,
kind of
there you
like
go.
his spot right
That feels
here.
better. Yeah, now it looks much stronger. Oh man, and a flashback
Flash.
therapy. Again, he turns the rats to the side with the therapy there.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, like
There you
yeah,
go.
they're fixing that then. Yeah, that was a very good turn for Mano. So
Yeah. Let me just rip your hand apart. I mean, that is A1 game plan for him, right?
hmm yeah,
That's
and like the thing is though, if you don't have a card like Hypnotic Spectre or maybe Phyrexian Arena or maybe some spots like Lavaborn Muse, like you can cast a bunch of Duresses and Cabal Therapies and Ravenous Rats, but if you don't have anything that matters on the board, then it's just like sure, Tama's gonna draw into something else. And but here, like the Hypnotic Spectre is just a
yeah,
persistent
just
threat.
going to town on his hand. Oh, yeah, you gotta love that.
All right, we got a Grim Lavamancer. So yeah, this
Yeah, the board state just looks so great for him right now.
I mean, Wrath of God, I guess, is very appealing. Humility would be
Humility,
fine.
yeah.
Um, Flint's getting his
Mano
puns
and
in.
taps.
It's looking grim for Metelsky, he says.
Oh boy.
It's also looking grim for Mano, right? If he's got the Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah. Mano weighing his options. Do I get in with the factory or not?
Cause I guess with the active Lavamancer, Tom doesn't really have the ability to block with his own
Right,
factory.
exactly. As
Discard the
soon as
Flooded
you
Strand. Okay.
activate the as soon as you activate the ability on factory
Yep.
Lavamancer.
There's an
Ooh,
arena, and that is
man.
very good for Mano. Like this is like an ideal board situation because now even if there's a Wrath of God, uh, the arena kind of will be able to refill his hand. So
Whew.
yeah, Tom just looks. Yeah, this is just tough. There's just things just lined up very well for Mano this game, and well, like on paper, it feels like Tom kind of has the more powerful deck, but the threats just lined up really well with the discard spells, and Mano is just kind of putting on a clinic.
Never discount discard with a clock. Okay, so now he starts going for the throat.
And Tom's doesn't look like he has any. I mean, unless there's like a Swords to Plowshares, that would be. But I mean, you can't put him on Swords to Plowshares because like I would say you could get rid of the Grim Lavamancer and then eat the Mistress Factory with your own, but then you're still dealing with a Hypnotic Spectre. So
yeah.
Coastal Towers discarded.
Instead, he just takes 4.
Yep, so Tom draws, and there's not too many cards I can think of that are like really good in this spot.
No.
Or at least that like make Tom feel like he's back in control. He's got 1 card in hand that's going to get discarded.
Yep.
The Lavamancer goes face, so down to 8. Yeah, not a lot of time. Mano will drop to 18, so he gets another card.
Yeah. Draw that Wrath this turn, or it's over. Now, what do we have hitting the board?
Is this is an engineered
plague on Soldier?
Yeah, I think so. Just preventing Decree of Justice.
Preventing surprise blockers. Get in again.
I guess Tom hasn't taken it
was
yet.
Was this the mother of all reads? Did Tom just pick that card up, look at it, and hate his life choices? Like,
I don't think it's Decree, because if the last turn, unless it was the card he just drew.
Well, it has to be the card he just drew because he.
Well, no, because he played a land.
Oh, okay.
He could have drawn the land, and this could have been the other card. So if it is a Decree, I would say I think he would have cast it last turn because he didn't really use his mana. But yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There's a bolt, and yeah, that will finish Tom off. So yeah, Mano in his Blackguard Muse deck takes down the Landstill deck in pretty short order. It just felt like Mano always had pressure, and like Tom could never stabilize. So
I always felt like good pressure. It always felt like really, really nasty threats that he had to answer and couldn't.
I'm gonna unmute the players.
Okay. Let's see. Good games, Mano.
Yeah, those were a good game. I feel like your deck just didn't come out firing. If you had the draws that you had in the first match here, I'd probably just lose. I don't know.
Yeah, and like you stripped my hand apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was rough.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to do, but what happens usually against you is I strip your hand apart, and then you draw Factor Fiction, or you decree for 4, and I still lose,
Yeah.
You weren't able to kill my clocks those games, Like I did have a Grim Lavamancer do 10. That Spectre just never died,
Yeah, there was the one turn, though, when it was like, I had the Factor Fiction, and then like you let me keep my hand, and then you had I think, was it Duress?
I had Duress
and
Rat, and I could Flashback Therapy. Yeah.
Yeah, rough.
Yeah, that was an awesome turn, actually. That's kind of why I play this deck, because of the Rat Therapy interaction is just like amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was a beating.
That was, yeah. I guess the deck really looked good on camera, I will say.
It did. People might buy out Stupor or something.
I'm glad I got exactly.
It did look good there, though.
Stupors from Turtle Man.
Hey, players, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that I was saying, like, it just seemed like Mano was just had the disruption and then the threats to follow it up, and it the hits never stopped coming. Like Tom you had a few turns in some spots like where you had a little bit of breathing room, and then it feels like Mano kind of turned it around again, and then you just couldn't find anything in time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough. I think it showcases a little bit like Lance Silver's discard. I mean, and like turn 1 rituals like from the last game. It's hard to keep up, but that was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought Factor Fiction would be just like the key card that Mano would strip away your hand, and eventually you'd resolve a Factor Fiction, and you kind of be smooth sailing from there. And it, like every game, it seemed like you had a Factor Fiction kind of at the right time, and just Mano still then like the next turn just had a bunch of discard spells again or something, or was able to resolve a threat, and yeah, it caused problems. So
yeah.
Mano, are you still there? I see a black screen from you. We might not have him, so, but what was your thought for the banning process, or like when you got to the 2 decks? What were you thinking of your deck choices, Tom?
Yeah, I thought the Stifle Knot was going to be a little rough, so I just didn't want to play against it. And yeah, I thought Lancell's got like those 60-40 games like against everything. So yeah, I felt pretty good.
A safe choice, yeah.
It would be close, yeah.
So Mano, were you expecting him to bring land still, given that he had the 2 decks?
No, I was trying to double cross him. I thought that he would. I really didn't want to play black red against Landstill, honestly, because exactly what you said. I spew my load, he draws Facts or Fiction, and then I lose. That's how these games go out usually. That is part of the reason why I have upped the Hypnotic Spectre and Cabal Interrogator count to just like they're really good cards against blue white, and Spectre clearly showed its prowess there. But I didn't want to play this matchup, and I thought that he probably wouldn't want to play me to play the black red against I'm sorry, what the hell is my other deck?
Sly.
Right, to play Sly against his Standstill. Okay. I thought he would never want that. So I thought he would pick Dreadnought. I thought he wouldn't want to risk that. I thought he would pick Dreadnought, and I think the black red is pretty reasonable against Dreadnought with 8 discard spells and 4 terminates and whatever. I think it's actually a positive matchup. That's what I was trying to do. When you led with Coastal Tower, I was not happy, but clearly it played out well on camera. I kind of I did my thing, even though you did your thing. And how about that Stupor? How good did that look on camera, right? But I don't know. I feel very lucky. I think that matchup is still, he's favored, and I dodged one. I don't know. I got lucky.
Yeah, I would say your deck seemed great in all those sequences that did a lot of work. I guess the one turn that seemed interesting was in the first game when the Grim Lavamancer was on the stack. Tom, I believe you had the option to cast Factor Fiction there, and instead you opted to do it at end of turn. And so there was a counterspell in that pile, but the Grim Lavamancer had already resolved. Was there a consideration, or I don't remember if there was a Cabal Therapy like in the graveyard that like potentially could get flashbacked.
Yeah, I think there was, but if there wasn't, I think my thought process was because he had that, and what else did he have? I had like the seals for the factories, and then he had another. I think he had a Rax in play.
Yeah.
So I was going for more of the line of like find the Wrath instead of like the 1-for-1, but I'm not sure what was right. Okay. It's possible that could have been correct. But then I was thinking, like, I'm not sure if he had mana. He still had mana available, so I was like, if I like Factor Fiction, get the counter spell, counter the Lavamancer, he could have he could follow up with a like Arena or something, and then I'm like way behind. Okay. I mean, I had the seals, but I was just thinking like crazy scenarios.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget exactly what the board state was, but
I'm pretty sure I had a Rat in play and a Therapy in my graveyard.
Okay. Because you were at something like at 13, and so like the Grim Lavamancer was. I mean, you still have time, but then that ended up just
that's what I thought too.
Dealing a bunch of damage. Yeah. Yeah, that's really all I have. So, but yeah, it was a good showcase of what that black red deck can do. I felt like so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everyone shits on it. I'm glad to see it actually put up a nice fight on the camera against one of its worst matchups. Sure. So that was nice, at least. Tiny bit of respect for the old Ravenous Rats.
Do you have a favorite Ravenous Rats art? I see you have a variety. So
I have a random. I don't play any foil cards, but I don't know why even I have this. I have a random Japanese foil Ravenous Rats that is not curved at all. So I play that just because. And then I generally go oldest art on anything that's not old school, like just from the random pre-modern era sets. I go oldest art. Like I'll always play a Mirage block thing over an Onslaught block thing or whatever, you know. So I use the older rats plus I think it's Urza's Destiny or whatever, one of the middle Urza sets, plus the random foil rat, just to troll everybody, basically.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's all I really have. So good games, guys. Yeah, it looks like, so condolences, Tom. Seems like tonight was not a good night, but you can bounce back. So
No, it wasn't.
yeah, but...
No, it wasn't.
All right, well, it was a pleasure playing you, Tom. Our first time playing, and you've built up a bunch of good karma against me. So I'm scared to play the next time because I'm dead before it starts.
No, good playing. I thought you were sequencing your turns like really well, so that was nice to watch.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
Definitely.
So
Later.
we will take a
guys.
look at our schedule. What we have up next, we have a match between Ryan and Richie, and Flint will be jumping in the booth with me. So thank you, Aaron, for being here and helping me out. Hope you had some fun.
Absolutely, anytime.
Yep. And so yeah, we'll get things started, and we're just gonna take a quick break when we get our other players set up, but we'll be right back for round 3. So sit tight. Thanks for watching, everyone.